China's Met Service has issued an alert about Typhoon Parma, which is expected to make landfall in the south of the country on Tuesday. On Sunday, the eye of the cyclone was located about 300 miles southeast of Guaning on the island province of Hainan. Parma left at least 300 people dead in the Philippines and is expected to bring high winds to coastal areas of Guangdong and Taiwan, as well as southern parts of Fujian and the eastern coast of Hainan. Japan's new Prime Minister, Yukio Hatoyama, has asked his Chinese counterpart, Premier Wen Jiabao, to make an international commitment on climate change. Hatoyama made the appeal after a trilateral summit with leaders from China and South Korea, which was held in Beijing. Hatoyama added that the Chinese Premier had promised China would do its best to ensure that there was a successful outcome to upcoming UN-led talks on a new global framework to tackle climate change. These are due to be held in Copenhagen in December. Central Huijin, part of China's sovereign wealth fund, will continue to buy A shares in the country's three biggest listed banks over the next 12 months. The agency, which is the parent company of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Bank of China and China Construction Bank, also recently bought additional shares in the three banks on the Shanghai Stock Exchange. Chinese banks have extended record loans this year to support the government's $586 billion stimulus plan, but have been hit by thinner profit margins due to stiff competition. China's health ministry has said that more serious outbreaks of H1N1 flu are expected to hit the country this winter. The warning comes after the mainland reported its first death from the virus earlier this month. Spokesman Deng Haihua said the virus is spreading as weather cools and people return to work after the national holidays. China has produced its own flu vaccines, and Deng said more than 300,000 people have already been inoculated. China says it opposes a US inquiry that could lead to new duties of 100% on more Chinese-made seamless steel pipes. The new pipes investigation followed US President Barack Obama's recent decision to slap a 35% duty on tires made in China. A government spokesman dismissed the charges of steel pipe dumping and subsidies as blind accusations and said they lacked factual basis. Trade tensions between the US and China are mounting ahead of President Barack Obama's visit next month for a third set of talks with Chinese President Hu Jintao. Novak Djokovic captured his third ATP title of the year at the China Open in Beijing on Sunday, outlasting giant killer Martin Cilic of Croatia. Both men will head straight to Shanghai now for the next leg of the ATP Tour's swing through Asia. Meanwhile, Russia's 24-year-old Svetlana Kuznetsova, the sixth seed, used her powerful ground strokes and extra experience to beat Poland's Agnieszka Radwanska 6-2, 6-4 and take the women's title. The Chinese pairing of Peng Shuai from the mainland and Taiwan's Xie Su Wei won the women's doubles title, beating their Russian opponents 6-3, 6-1. And Carmelo Anthony reined in 45 points to give the Denver Nuggets a 128-112 win over the Indiana Pacers in an NBA exhibition game in Beijing on Sunday. The game at the Olympic Wukesong Arena was a near sellout, with 15,000 enthusiastic fans cheering for both teams. The two sides had played in Taipei 3 days earlier, with the Pacers coming out on top there 126-104. The NBA is hugely popular in China and is the league's most important market outside the United States. Before the game, the NBA and the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association, announced an agreement to exchange coaches, trainers and nutritionists as a way of fostering their relations and improving the level of basketball in China. And those are all the latest headlines for now. We'll be right back with more news stories from across China.